Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to whenever you happen to be listening, and welcome to the second episode of the Fourth Inning Podcast, where four friends talk about their one love for sports. Today's episode includes 5 segments that will cover the NFL, NBA, and of course Major League Baseball. I'm now going to let Matt give you guys a recap of the past week in the sports world.
Welcome to This Week in Sports, where I go over all the events in the sports world over the last week. We start at the Charlotte Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. Rain and wrecks caused this race to be a lot longer and eventually go into overtime. Brad Keselowski pulled off a narrow win, holding off Jimmy Johnson in the final 2 laps. Tristan, I know you watched this race. What were your thoughts?
I just think that Chase Elliott got screwed again. He had that huge lead, and then the wreck caused a restart, and he fell back.
He's had a few bad breaks this year.
Yeah, and then Jimmy Johnson with the disqualification.
Yeah, I didn't really get that because I'm kind of new to NASCAR, but, I mean, the rules are the rules.
Yeah, gotta make sure they aren't cheating.
Yeah. Now we go to South Korea for the KBO. The NC Dinos are still in first with a 15-3 record, and the LG Twins are hot on their trail with a 12-6 record. The SK Weaverns are still stinking it up with a 3-15 record.
Wow.
Yeah, they're bad.
That is
That's
bad. That is
really
rough.
bad.
That's
Unfortunately, I haven't been watching much KBO, so I can't. Yeah.
Oh, they've stunk it up.
Yeah, it's
It's
bad.
not fun to watch.
Jose Miguel Fernandez is on fire and tearing up the KBO with a .480 batting average, and Roberto Ramos has came out of nowhere to lead the league with 8 home runs.
Wow, he's on a hot streak.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Now we head to Hobe Sound, Florida for a golf match of the ages.
The match.
Yes, sir.
Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning faced off against Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. All funds went to Corona relief. The match went back and forth with everyone hitting really good shots on a somewhat consistent basis.
Well,
Tom Brady was...
Tom Brady hit some of the
He
ugliest
was
shots
pretty
I've seen, and then
consistent.
he'd go and
He was
make
I've seen uglier.
once in a lifetime.
he was
one
consistently
shot.
bad besides the one shot.
I mean, yeah, that one shot was crazy.
And
great.
he
Yeah.
did rip his
It was
pants
fun.
afterwards.
Overall, it was a really good match.
It was
I
fun
was
to
very
watch.
surprised by Peyton Manning. He played very well.
Yeah. It was very nice how Tom Brady made that shot right after
Yeah.
Charles gave him some crap.
Yeah, Charles Barkley kind of made the show. With all that trash talk, I found it very funny to
It was
watch.
much better with him.
Oh, yeah, I was laughing up a storm for a while. Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning did narrowly win the match, winning by a single stroke. And now I pass it on to my friend Blake for next up.
All right, welcome to the segment next up. This is we think is going to have a big jump in their production next year, their wins. And today we got MLB and NFL. We're going to start with MLB. And my team is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Nobody really talks about them. They're kind of like underappreciated team, but I think they'll have a very good team this year. They added Mad Bum. They have a really strong pitching rotation. Tel Marte, Nick Ahmed, and Eduardo Escobar. They make a very talented infield. Starling Marte is playing some of his best baseball right now, and so is Cole Calhoun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll pass it on to Tristan.
I went with the Rays. Last year they finished 96-66, so I feel like they get a couple more wins and they'll be back up there. They were 7 games back from the Yankees, but now the Yankees, they're starting to go downhill.
Yeah, tough division.
They
I
could,
wouldn't-
they could definitely get a wild card spot.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing with the
Again,
Diamondbacks
they'll
with
get
the
it again.
Rays. They're
Yeah.
both similar. They play in a tough division.
Yeah.
And they always do worse in the second half of the season, like
Yeah.
starting to go downhill, but I feel like after they pick that up, they'll be fine.
Tampa's
But-
been really good recently.
Yeah, they always
They have.
come in looking good.
But
And
last
with
year-
Boston looking shaky this year,
Yeah.
I could definitely
Oh,
see
yeah.
them getting the
I
wild
could see
card.
them,
yeah, I see the Rays.
But then last year they lost to the Astros.
in
But-
5.
Yeah.
You know.
But if the
Bang,
Astros
bang.
weren't cheating,
Yeah, you never
they
know.
could
You
have
never know what
gotten
could
hot.
happen.
Who knows?
Snell looked good that series.
Yeah, he sure did.
All right, I got the White Sox. They finished at 72-89 last year, but they're a super young team, so I think they can only get better from here. They have proven talent like Jose Abreu, Edwin Encarnacion, and Yasmani Grandal. They also have young talent like Tim Anderson, Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, and Yohan Moncada, who was dealt to the White Sox in the Chris Sale trade. So I definitely think there's a way this team could sneak into the postseason, and I see them as a serious contender in the near future.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to give it to Matt now with his MLB team.
My next up team is the Cincinnati Reds. I find this very obvious to me. They have a consensus top 5 starting rotation in the major leagues. Their lineup is full of power. They have key additions in the offseason like Mike Moustakas, Nick Castellanos, Shogo Akiyama, Wade Miley, and Pedro Strop. Their bullpen was a little shaky last year, to be honest,
Yeah,
but I mean they've gotten additions this year.
They got to pick that up.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Raisel Iglesias will have a comeback year.
Yeah.
There's no real holes in the lineup, offensively or defensively.
Very,
I
that is
don't
very
see any
true.
holes.
No.
Either
They also
way.
have a lot of young players off the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah.
This year, I think by some people they were projected to win the division.
Yeah,
so
Senzel's suspected to have his big jump.
I think it'll be a breakout year. Yeah, we have a lot of young talent. I think
They have a great shot.
we have
yeah.
we have a great shot of making the playoffs or even more.
The Reds are back, baby.
Yes, sir.
All right, now we're going to move on to the NFL. My team is the Cowboys. I think they're one of the most talented teams in the league. They have picked up CeeDee Lamb in the draft last year, and I think he's a game changer. I think Zeke's a top 3 running back. Amari Cooper is only getting better every year. Michael Gallup is going to be a great receiver coming off an 1,000-yard year. They have one of the best O-lines in the NFL with
Yep.
Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. They have an elite defense with Marcus Lawrence, Sean Lee, Leighton Vander Esch, Chidobe Awuzie,
Young,
Xavier
too.
Woods.
They're
Yeah.
young.
Very young.
I think they just
Jalen
have to
Smith.
find ways to win. They've had this talented roster. They just can't.
They always
Can't
have
win
talent,
games.
Just never can
Yeah,
win.
their problem is just they can't win games when they need
Yeah.
to. That's why I don't really trust them that much, even with their talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They just need to win. If they can win, they're going to win the division pretty easily, and they can make a shot for all of it.
I went with the Bills. In last year, they finished 10-6, came in second behind the Patriots, but now the Patriots are basically
Yeah.
they fell apart. So I think they're going to win the AFC East next year.
They
It-
could.
They
Patriots
could.
are
The
the
I bet
Patriots,
they
it'll be neck and neck
Yeah,
between
the
them.
Patriots-
I think the
Patriots-
Dolphins are a dark horse too. They have
Yeah,
a
they
lot,
could be.
a lot of talent this
Uh-huh.
offseason.
I don't think
They
so.
picked up Stephon Diggs. They got Mitch Morse,
I think so.
Josh Allen still,
I
and
like
then
the Bengals though.
Ed Oliver. But last year in the playoffs, they ended up losing to the Texans. Not by much.
They
but
blew. They
it was-
blew.
They
big
blew
lead.
it.
Yeah.
was-
Yeah, they started very hot last year, right?
They did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they put a smacking on Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I
They
believe.
did.
Yeah.
They did.
I think they'll have a good year.
Yep.
They will.
I think they could win the division.
All right, so I got the Broncos. They finished at 7-9 last year, but they started off the season losing 4 straight games. Once Drew Lock took over, that was a whole new team. Additions like Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, AJ Boye, and Jarrell Casey really helps their chances, I think, of making a possible playoff appearance this year, as well as bringing in their new offensive coordinator for Drew Lock. Especially with the new expanded playoff rules, I could definitely see them getting a wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it'll
like
be
the
tough to win
Broncos.
the division.
Yeah.
With
If
with
Drew
Kansas
Lock can
City.
step up and play even better football, then I think they're looking good.
He has,
Yeah,
he has
sure.
weapons. Noah
Yeah.
Fant, Philip Lindsay, Melvin
yeah.
Gordon.
They're
He's
good.
got weapons.
They are
He
going
better
to
be
good.
doing something. He'll do something, hopefully.
I got the New York Giants on this one. It's a bit of a hot take, but New York Giants. You're gonna have to bear with me on this one, but they picked up a almost completely new coaching staff, and Daniel Jones will progress this year into a very solid starter. Not one of the best in the NFL, but he'll be top 10, top 15 in my opinion.
no.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't think he will.
And
I
then-
think he gets the job done, but not.
You got to let
He's not that
Saquon
high.
play his game. He'll produce. He'll give you numbers.
He can't do enough with that atrocious O line.
yeah.
Well, they used the 4th pick to draft a really good lineman, and they signed a
He's
few more
not
in the
going to turn the
offseason.
O line around.
It may.
They just need a couple more. One or
Yeah,
two more.
They picked up some in free agencies. They also signed a stud safety, Xavier McKinney, to help the awful pass defense. In my opinion, if everything goes right, I could see him going 10-6 in their core division.
10-6.
Oh,
They're not going
that
over.
is-
my
They're-
I don't see
That's very
Dallas doing
generous.
that good, and anyone
You-
that's not named Dallas,
You just made some great comments about the
Wow.
Cowboys a few minutes
anyone
ago.
that's not named Dallas in the division, I don't see being that good this year.
So you don't see the Giants
You don't see the
being
Eagles.
good?
You think they're beating the Eagles this year?
Yeah, I think they'll beat the Eagles.
Both times?
I don't know about both times because 10-6.
I think the
That's
division
6
is between the
losses.
Eagles and the Cowboys.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
I would agree with you on that one.
I think the Giants have a lot of potential this year.
I just
They don't have a lot. They have some. Just not
They have
a lot.
some.
progress.
They
They're
have
pretty
some bright
young,
spots.
but
They'll
But I don't know.
progress
I don't
this
know if
year.
they'll go 10-6.
I don't know if they'll go 10-6, but they'll show a lot of progress this year from what last year was.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
all right. Well, that does it for next up. After the break, I'm going to pass it over to Tristan with Let's Rank It.
Welcome to Let's Rank It, and today we have two different discussions. The first one is the top 5 NFL players of all time. And at 5, I have Joe Montana.
I also have Joe Montana.
I got Joe Montana.
I have Walter Payton. He's too good to keep off this list. honestly.
I would have Deion Sanders. I think it was close between Deion
Yeah.
Sanders and Joe
Yeah.
Montana,
I almost
but
had him in there.
I gave Joe Montana the edge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At 4, I have Jerry Rice.
I have Lawrence Taylor, even though
I
I think he
have,
could be higher for
I have
sure.
Yeah.
Jim Brown on this
I
one.
have Jim Brown here,
I have
4-time
Jim Brown
MVP.
Yeah, so do I. Then at 3, like I just said, I have Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
I have Jerry Rice.
I have
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor. I have this because he's probably one of the best defensive players ever and really
Oh,
revolutionized the linebacker
is.
position.
He is the best.
He is
Yeah.
the best.
And it's tough to really talk about Jim Brown with just his stats because
Yeah.
he only had a 9-year
Yeah.
career, but in the first 5 years of his career, the regular season was only 12 games. in the last 4 years of his career, the regular season was only 14 games. So he was dominant, but I don't think his stats really show that. So.
One thing about Jim Brown, though, he averaged 104 yards per game.
He did.
Yeah, for his whole
that's
career.
Impressive.
Jerry Rice, I mean, he holds 36 NFL records.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's my
that's
two.
true.
He's my two.
It's that time of the episode, the joke of the week, where I tell a joke at a random time.
All right, let's
This
hear it.
week's joke is, what do you call 53 millionaires around a TV watching a Super Bowl?
I don't know.
What do you call them?
What?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, Matt.
Been there a couple
A
times.
bit of a rip on the Cowboys, but, they haven't won one in a while, so.
Well,
Still have some of the
Neither
most.
have a lot of teams. In
Yeah,
this league.
that's
Yeah.
true, but
They've
yeah.
been really consistent. So
Yeah.
I don't
it's
really
fun.
think-
It's fun to make fun of the Cowboys.
All right, back to Let's Rank It. And at 2, I have Lawrence Taylor.
I also have LT.
I have Jerry Rice.
I got Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He still holds the record for all-purpose touchdowns and receiving yards.
Number 1.
I
the
think we all
GOAT,
know.
I think
we
we
all
all
know.
know here.
Brady.
Tom
Tom Brady.
Tommy B.
6-time
Yeah.
Super Bowl champ,
What a good
3-time
guy.
MVP.
What a good
Yeah.
guy.
Oh,
You got 14 Pro Bowls and counting.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's only going to go up from here. 6-time Super Bowl champ.
What a good guy.
All right, the second discussion I have is the top 3 NBA teams of the past decade. At 3, I went with the 13-14 Spurs.
Ooh, I have the 2015-16 Cavs.
I got
3-1
the
comeback.
Also
I got the
great,
17-18 Warriors.
I have the 2014-15 Warriors.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Warriors had in 17-18, they had 3 guys who averaged over 20 points, and they also had a very solid bench with guys like Quinn Cook, Nick Young,
Yeah.
Sean Livingston, even David West. So, I mean, they dominated the playoffs and swept the Cavs in the finals to cap off a great year. So that's why they're my 3.
Yeah, I feel like the
Yeah.
Spurs, they were in 62-20. They won the championship.
Yeah, they were
They
very
had
good.
Big Greg coaching, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili and Kawhi.
The Warriors.
Young Kawhi.
The
Yeah.
Warriors
Young.
this year, they won 67 games in 2014 and had the MVP and quite frankly,
I believe it was
think
unanimous,
the
right?
best
Yeah.
defense.
Was that unanimous?
Yep.
Yeah, 15-16 Cavs
Yeah.
had the unanimous MVP and LeBron
Yeah,
James.
there you go.
At number 2, I have the 16-17 Warriors.
Same here.
I have the 2012-13 Miami Heat.
I have the
Yeah,
2012-13
too.
Miami Heat as well.
Yeah, that 27-game winning streak.
It's hard to argue.
Yeah.
66 wins too.
Yeah.
LeBron, D-Wade.
The Warriors
Yeah.
bench was weak, but I mean the stars obviously made
Oh,
up
yeah.
for that. They swept the first 3 rounds of the playoffs and obviously beat the Cavs in 5 games in the finals. So they're a dominant team for sure. They're my 2.
At number 1, I have the 12-13 Heat.
I got the Heat.
Yeah.
I have the 2016-17 Warriors.
Yeah, I have the same with Blake. 67 wins, a 16-1 record
Yeah,
in
I
the
know.
playoffs.
It's crazy.
That's it's hard to beat that.
I mean, the starting
It's-
five was
it's
Curry,
unmatched
Katie,
by about
Draymond
everybody.
Green, Peculiar, right? Is that how you say it?
Zaza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Pachulia.
Klay Thompson.
I still like the Heat. They're the 1-2
Yeah.
combo of D-Wade, LeBron,
Yeah.
defensive stud, and all-star in Chris Bosh, and Ray Allen, obviously top 3 shooter of all time, with 27 straight win streak.
I think there's a small.
They were just elite.
And
There-
they,
there's
and
a
they,
small-
and they
Great.
finished
Yeah,
it.
one of the
For
best
me, there's a
trios.
small difference between number 2 and number 1, but the 16-1 playoff record just
Yeah.
changes
Yeah, that
changes
is.
my mind for me. Yeah.
I will now hand it over to Josh with our next segment, Matchup Mania.
Alrighty, so with the NFL schedule recently being released, I'm going to talk about some games that I think will be interesting, and we're going to discuss and decide who we think is going to win those games. So week 1, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. I think it'll be a great start to the season. 2 high-powered offenses.
I'm
and
excited
I-
for this
I
one.
expect
Huge
a
excited for
shootout.
this one.
So who do you boys,
Probably gonna watch this.
who do you boys
Yeah.
think is going to come out on top in this one?
I think the Saints.
I got the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
with Saints.
Home field.
Home field advantage.
Yeah.
Superdome.
Help them. Yep.
Strong DB unit will stop the.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Lattimore's only going to get better.
Yeah.
All right, week 3, I got Kansas City at Baltimore. I think this will be another great offensive game. Could have big implications on playoff seeding towards the end of the year. I got Kansas City in this one.
Yeah, me too.
I went with Baltimore. I feel like Lamar will just have a great game, but I feel like they'll only win by like a game-winning field goal.
It could be closer.
It's
Yeah, I
gonna
think the
be
Chiefs are
close.
going to
I got
win
the
coming off
Chiefs
that
too.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Bowl win. Patrick
I feel like
Mahomes probably only
That'll
gonna
be
get
the
better.
Chiefs' one of their losses of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't lose many, but I still got the Chiefs.
Both
Yeah,
for
I
this
think
one
so.
out. I could definitely see those two in the AFC
Yeah.
Championship come. Be January? Yeah, it would. January, yeah.
Yep.
All right, we're going to skip to week 9 now. We got Seattle at Buffalo. This was Tristan's next up team in Buffalo. We got both teams who improved tremendously over the offseason. I'm curious to see how this new Buffalo team will rise to the occasion when Russell Wilson comes to town. I got Seattle in this one, but I think it's close.
I had to go with Buffalo.
I agree with Tristan. I'm
Yeah,
going with the
I'm
Bills
going
here.
with Buffalo.
The
Josh
weather,
Allen's
could,
gonna have
the
a great
weather
game.
could be a factor.
I think
too.
Yeah.
home field advantage again. Bills crowd gets wild,
Bills
especially for this
Mafia.
one.
Yeah.
Biggest,
They're gonna get
a
crazy.
huge game.
Bills Mafia.
Yeah, they got this
And I
strong
think
pass defense.
with the
They
Bills being next up.
yeah, they have
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs edition.
Oh yeah.
that Seahawks have a poor pass defense, so just run all over them.
Yep.
I'm interested to see where Clowney signs this offseason.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
All right, week 11 now. I got Tennessee at Baltimore. This is a rematch of last year's AFC divisional round game. Everyone thought Baltimore was going to hand it to Tennessee, but Tennessee came out on top. I think this should be a great game, especially with the Ravens looking for some revenge. I got Baltimore in this one.
Yeah, me too. I think
Yep,
they're going to
me
get their
too.
payback.
And what do you think about Tannehill's new contract? He got paid, didn't he?
Yeah, deserved
Yeah.
it.
The big bucks.
Big bucks for Tannehill. All right, week 12. I got Green Bay at Indy. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers come to Indy to face a young but talented Colts team. I think the game could either be a shootout or a defensive-heavy battle, but I think Indy gets this one in a very close game.
Yeah, me too. I think
Yeah,
Colts
I think-
win.
I think Green Bay wins this one.
Yeah, I
The
can-
solid
Yeah.
Colts team will pull this off.
You got a lot
I
of
feel
young
like they'll
talent.
win by at least 9.
Philip Rivers edition, healthy T.Y. Houghton.
I sure hope he's healthy.
Yeah, he hope he
He's
is.
up and down every
Yeah.
year.
Green Bay, I think, slept on. They made it to the NFC Championship last year, and I don't think they'll get beat by the Colts, even if it is a road game for
They
the Packers.
did Aaron
The
Rodgers
Colts are going to be
dirty.
good, but they won't be good enough to beat the Packers next year.
I'm still just not a big fan of the way Green Bay handled
Yeah.
the draft.
Yeah.
They had to get Aaron Rodgers some
Another,
weapons, and they did.
Yeah,
they got him
did.
another. A
Did the
QB.
opposite.
Yeah,
Just
they
like
did the
what-
opposite.
They did what they did when they drafted Rodgers.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, basically.
All right, week 13, Cincinnati at Miami. This could be
Wow.
Joe Burrow's first game against Tua if the Dolphins decide to roll with him. The game has a lot of potential, and hopefully we get to see Tua in actions here. I think this could be a great game, and I like Miami. I would go Miami both ways. If it's Fitzpatrick or if it's Tua, I like Miami.
If Tua's in, I'm going with the Bengals. He's facing his college rival, and I feel like the Bengals will get their 7th, 8th win of the season there.
I think
In
the
week
Bengals.
13?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
the Bengals here. 2-14, not exactly a great year, but they got Joe Burrow, hopefully a healthy AJ Green, strong receiving core, and they improved their defense during the free agency. I just think they're going to be a lot better and beat out Miami in this one.
I think, yeah, Joe Burrow's got a lot of weapons this year. I want to let him play his game. I think we'll have a big running gun offense, a lot of points, and with new additions to our defense, I think we'll be up there, hopefully looking for a wild card because we're not going to beat out the Ravens this year.
And even the
No.
Steelers too.
Yeah.
Maybe the Steelers. Big Ben,
I think
he's on the
Steelers.
way out soon, hopefully.
I feel like
I got back-to-back games for the Bengals here. Week 14, Dallas at Cincinnati. This might not be a big game for Dallas fans, but how about this? What if going into this game, Prescott gets hurt first possession, and Andy Dalton, Lord and Savior, the Red Rifle of the Bengals, comes in and lights it up? What do you think of that?
I think the Cowboys are winning either way. Got a lot of talent, strong
I mean, you would
defense.
think, but wouldn't it be interesting if the
If-
Red Rifle comes
yeah,
in,
it'll
throws
be
for
a
400
great
yards,
matchup. It'll be
3
great.
touchdowns?
Yeah, but yeah.
I feel like the Bengals.
I got
might-
Dallas all day in this game.
I'm going to go with some personal bias here. I think the Bengals
Oh,
are going to
wow.
pull. No.
No, it's not.
Bear
That's
with
not
me.
happening.
No, I think they're going to pull this one off because I think Joe Burrow is going to have the game of his life, and with all of his weapons, and I think our
Against the
defense,
strong Dallas defense.
and I think our defense will have a surprisingly good game and hold Dallas at bay. Maybe
I mean, Bengals
they'll-
had one of the
maybe 2
worst, had the
touchdowns.
worst run defense
And
last
that's
year.
why
and-
we drafted a bunch of good defensive
I
players.
still don't
and-
think.
They're still-
I still don't
they're
think
gonna
a
be
bunch of
rookies.
rookies can
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
Zeke.
Zeke,
Amari
top
Cooper,
running back.
Michael
Zeke was
Gallup.
that good.
Huh?
He wasn't
Zeke's a
that
top
good
3
last
running
year.
back. He's a top 3 running back,
Top
in my
three.
opinion.
Even that
I
defensive
think-
backs got to
and I
cover. They got to cover
But
Michael
with
Gallup,
wep-
Amari
with
Cooper, CeeDee Lamb.
weapons like Tyler Boyd, AJ Green, Joe Mixon.
Whoa,
Going
we're
against a
talking
very
about the
strong
Bengals
DB
defense here. You're talking about the
No,
Bengals defense.
in the defense too. I think Geno Atkins can still make a big difference.
No, Geno Atkins can't
Couldn't
go out
make a
there
difference
and
last
guard
year.
Amari Cooper, can he?
Well, obviously not
Yeah.
because he's not a safety. I wouldn't-
One nose tackle can't really hold the anchor down for the whole
Yeah,
defense.
I just don't see the
Once again, that's
Bengals
why,
coming out on
that's
top.
why we picked up free agents.
Well, free agents really can't do everything for you guys.
Eh.
All right, week 16.
Who dey?
No. All right, week 16, Minnesota at New
We dey.
Orleans. Okay, thank you, Matt. Week 16, we got Minnesota at New Orleans, another game in the Superdome for the Saints. I think it'll have big implications on playoff seeding in the NFC, and I think that Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara matchup should be fun to watch. I got New Orleans in this game, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah, I also have the Saints
Yeah,
winning this.
New
Orleans.
Home
Yeah, I got
field
Saints.
advantage again. Strong run defense is going to stop the Dalvin Cook. He's coming off a great year. Probably going to have another one.
All right, week 17, final year of the season. Tennessee at Houston. Another game late in the year that could be huge in the AFC South. I expect an all-in performance by both teams as they try and get either a wild card spot or win that division. I got Tennessee coming into Houston and getting the dub in this one.
I
Yeah, I
agree.
like it.
I have
Love
the
it.
Texans winning this one. I think both teams are looking for the playoffs this year, but
Yeah,
I just think
can
the
see it
Titans'
happening.
pass defense isn't going to stop Deshaun Watson. I think he's going to have a
Yeah.
great game.
Watson's elite.
Yeah, and I just see the
He's not
Texans
bad,
coming out.
yeah.
I just see the Texans coming out on top.
All right, that's it for Matchup Mania. After the break, Matt's going to come to you guys with a segment called Douglas's Hot Take. Alrighty, welcome back to the Fourth Inning Podcast. And before I give the floor to Matt for his hot take, we're going to be starting something new for every episode. We're going to talk about a sporting moment that happened on this day. So in 2006, Barry Bonds hit home run number 715, passing Babe Ruth on the all-time home run list.
Thanks, Josh. And now, welcome to Douglas's Hot Take, where every episode I deliver an unpopular sports opinion and we discuss it. The hot take for this week is the Reds are a top 5 MLB organization.
I personally agree. I think they're number 5 probably.
I'm disagreeing with this one.
Ooh.
I disagree, but I think it's close. But
Yeah.
I'd probably put them at 6 or 7.
I had them at 7 because you have to put the Yankees, Cardinals, Red Sox
Yeah.
in front of
Can
them.
we all agree that the
Cardinals.
Yankees are 1?
Yes, yeah.
Who would be your 2?
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I put
Cardinals at 2.
I got Cardinals.
I put Red Sox at 3.
3,
Yeah,
Red
and I
Sox.
Giants
I
and
actually have the
Reds.
Giants over the Red
I have the
Sox.
Giants at 4.
Really?
Giants have 24 Hall of Famers,
Yeah.
7 World Series. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
At 5, I'd put Pirates, 6 A's, and then 7 with Reds. I just don't think.
I mean, the Reds are 4th all time with 5 World Series wins, 9 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. They've won 9 National League pennants. They've had 19 Reds, players or managers, inducted into the Hall of Fame, and one of the best MLB dynasties ever from
Yeah.
from 1970 to 1976.
Yeah, Big Red Machine, my opinion, best
They're
team of all time.
The 76
Yeah,
Reds are
they are.
consensus
They're pretty good.
best
Yeah,
team
they
ever.
were the best team of all time, but I still don't think that one team can solely bring them into the top
No,
5.
I don't
and
think.
also,
The 9 Hall of Famers, it'd be more, the Pete Rose whole
19,
scenarios.
19.
Okay,
I
there's
just
10.
First ballot.
There's 10.
Yeah. I just don't think that they're in the top 5.
And what the Reds do, or what the Reds have done that not many other organizations have done, they have a ton of homegrown talent. Like Pete Rose, Barry Larkin, and Joe Nuxall are all from Cincinnati, and they've all turned into MLB legends one way or another.
Well, at the end of the day, that doesn't really count for them being a top 5 organization of all time.
Also, I think you
I
have to
still
give some
think
credit.
they have a better,
Yeah.
I guess.
They are the first MLB team,
Yeah,
they went
yeah.
57-0 that year, undefeated. Yeah.
So, I mean,
They
kind
are
of.
And they still don't have the World Series like some
They
of these
are
teams in the top
historically
5.
consistent. One thing that I don't agree about, like Giants, they went through about like a 60-year stretch where they didn't win the World Series.
still-
And the Reds have always
Yeah, but they were still.
they've been
Well,
they've
at
been
the end of
way
the
more
day, they have
consistent.
7 and they have
Yeah.
24 Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. That's probably what
They're
separates
ahead
them.
of the Reds,
They're
but
ahead
I
of
think
the
the Reds
Reds,
are
but
5.
Yeah, I think they're not out of the top 5. That's what I don't know.
I think it's
Yeah.
close.
It's
it's
really
close.
close. I just
But
don't think that the Reds.
I
are.
think they have to be in the top 5. They have
Yeah.
so many achievements in about every sense of the word.
But
that-
they don't have some of these achievements other teams
Yeah,
have.
no. The 4 ahead of them are definitely ahead of them.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
highest, you put the Reds as 5, and that's where I put them.
I think I'd put the A's in the same boat
Wait,
with
why
the
do you,
Reds.
do you
Yeah.
have the Pirates again?
I have
I-
the Pirates at
Why
5.
do you
Yeah,
have the Pirates?
I put A's and Pirates before the Reds.
the A's. How many do they have? World Series?
I think they're 5 too.
Pirates have 5 World Series, and,
Yeah.
And they also have 12 Hall of Famers, more than the Reds. And if you're gonna go to the A's,
Reds did beat the A's.
The
swept them.
Reds did beat the A's in 1990, and they also kind of
they
ended- they ended Oakland's dynasty
Well, the A's
in
also
the
have 9
70s.
World Series, and they have 12 Hall of Famers, also
Good.
more than the Reds. So.
well, the Reds actually have 19 if you count players and managers.
Oh, well, I'm sure if we count managers here, then it'd be different.
Yeah, it'd be a whole different story if you included managers.
+1 because Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, changed my mind.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I could. We can all
And
agree with that.
some
one.
Reds,
That was
Reds
actually
do have
that was
some
actually on
Reds.
episode 1.
maybe you
that's
should,
actually uploaded right
If you
now.
Give it
haven't
a
seen it, go
listen.
check it out.
Yeah.
Go give it a listen.
No, but I think there are also some Hall of Fame players that the Reds have
Yeah.
had that aren't in the Hall of Fame, like George Foster.
I'm sure
Mhm.
every
He's-
team.
Yeah, you
every
could say
team
that
does,
about
but
every
there's a lot more Reds.
And the Reds also have some of the
You
best
could
coaches
you
of all
could
time.
argue that every single player of the
Managers.
grade 8 in the 1970s should be in the Hall of Fame. You could put up a very good argument.
No.
I think that every single one of those players produced on such a high level that you could put them in the Hall of Fame.
But it also helps that their
Yeah.
talent around them helps them.
yeah,
The Hall of
Yeah.
Fame is so prestigious.
it is.
It is.
You have to
Yeah.
be one of the best.
The
There are
best of
also
the best
some
get in
no-names
there.
in the Hall of Fame too. There are some no names in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but they have the stats to
no,
back it up.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say no names.
Yeah,
There's
you
no
can't say that there's no
Maybe,
names in the Hall
I
of
mean,
Fame.
we're kids. Maybe we don't know them because we're young. But
Yeah.
everyone in the Hall
Yeah,
of
'cause-
Fame, they know who they are.
Yeah, there are some old players, but getting back to the main point, I think that the Reds, there's no way they can't be in the top 5. I know the
I can
Pirates,
see them. I can see.
I don't think the
somebody's-
Pirates can be in the top 5, even
I
with
know.
more Hall of Famers in World Series.
I think the Pirates.
Yeah,
I can see how you would think that the Reds aren't because
pretty
it's
easily.
close, but I have them at 5 just because.
I have them at 5, but I don't have them out
I,
of the top
I could
5.
see 6, but 5. No, I'm just. But now, if you look at all the teams, the A's, Pirates, and Reds now, they're not.
I mean,
Well,
as good.
yeah,
they're
but
nowhere near.
Oakland,
They're having their. bad
Oakland's
years.
even with the Reds because they were really good in the late 80s and they were really good in the early 70s, so there's not much to argue with that. But
They have 4
Yeah.
more World Series.
yeah, the Giants, yeah.
But you know,
the Pirates,
The Giants were
I'm not sure
hot.
about the Pirates.
The Giants were a very hot team earlier.
Matt has the Reds next up, so
I do
They-
have the
they
Reds
could be
up.
next
They
up.
Maybe
could
they're
be
going to
looking
add to
for
the
number
resume.
6.
Maybe they're going to add
I
to the
think
resume.
they could go
yeah.
for number 6 and number 7 before
They
this era is
have the
over.
pitching staff for
oh
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
they can pull it off.
Not this year.
Yeah, not this year, but I think
No, not this year.
if they
In the future-
resign,
in
if they
near
resign their
future.
1-year deals, then that's I think they'll be really good.
Do they have a good farm system?
They did until
Yeah.
all of them got
They
called
get-
up or got traded.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And now
So
they're
that's
kinda-
one of the best, weren't they?
Now their farm systems are kind of bad.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of that now. Like back then, you would even see like some dominant teams with some solid farm systems, but now it's almost like all those players in the farm are getting traded for big studs.
Yeah,
That's what happened
tough.
in the big trade with the Reds and Dodgers when we got Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp
Yeah.
and Alex Wood,
Yeah.
and we
Mhm.
traded away all our studs.
Yep.
That's why I think like teams like the White Sox, they have a lot of young talent and they also have a lot of veteran talent, so they should be an interesting team.
You did say they'd be next
I
up.
did say
Yeah.
they'll be next up.
Full circle here. We're going
Yeah,
back to next
yeah.
up now.
Full circle.
The circle is now complete. It's a Star Wars joke if you don't get it.
it's a good joke.
Thank you. I appreciate
Should
that.
we- should we-
Just like-
I
just
I
like
don't-
2 weeks in a
I
row.
don't know.
Not
I
2
don't
weeks in a
know.
row.
Should
Just
we?
like Matt
2 weeks in a row.
Edwin Diaz. That was a good joke, Matt. I like it.
It wasn't even a joke. It was more of a callback. It was more of a
Oh,
callback.
I like. I'll take
A
it.
reference.
It was
a reference.
It was,
A reference.
It was probably
A
better than
reference,
my
yeah.
Cowboys joke. Once
it
again,
was.
Once
Yeah.
again, it was
I
a
think
clap.
I like the
Your
Cowboys
jokes at
joke
the end
better
are
than
much
last
better
week's.
than your actual
the
jokes.
Cowboys joke was tough.
I may break the fourth wall. Tristan, thank you for suggesting that joke to me. I was coming up with nothing. I was shooting a blank.
You're
and then-
welcome.
Yeah,
He was too
I
busy
appreciate
researching.
that. I appreciate that a lot. I was too busy researching on when the Giants are going to be good.
You're welcome for that joke, Matt.
I appreciate it. I think really the
Yeah, back on topic here.
the Pirates,
sorry,
Giants, A's, and Reds are very even, but
Yeah.
I think the Reds
Maybe a little
edge it
biased.
out.
I have
Edge
the-
it out.
I have the Reds behind them.
Maybe a little biased.
Yeah.
Cincinnati,
But I
Cincinnati
don't
home.
I don't know if I'm the
homegrown.
most credible source to talk about the Reds because I may be one of the biggest Reds fans there are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
you
I
are.
live or die with the Reds.
Yeah.
And the Bengals, kind of, but.
Yep. Geno Atkins.
Yeah, I see the
Geno,
Watkins.
Geno
Maybe he'll
Sacks
come
is
over.
his Instagram.
Maybe he'll come over and hit cleanup for the Reds this year. You know?
Maybe. Well, that's
possible.
It was kind of taken. Who's hitting cleanup this year?
Probably Castellanos, right?
Yeah, Suarez is
What
hitting
do
third.
you
Yeah.
think Moose is
3.
gonna hit? What do you think Moose is gonna hit?
Fifth. Or
Yeah, I see Moose at 5.
Yeah.
That's an RBI spot.
Yep.
What about
Who's gonna-
Shogo? Where's Shogo?
Lead off. He'll hit
Shogo
lead
might
off.
DH if they have that universal DH.
No, they'll be Castellanos.
Yeah, then we're with Castellanos.
Castellanos'
Yeah.
defense has improved a lot.
Yeah.
It's improved.
so, yeah.
I think you could put a Keno.
Former
right
Tiger
there.
right there. You know what I mean?
That's a guy
He
who had a hot
is.
start last year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but got cold
if you-
very
if you-
quick.
Yeah.
He got
If
cold
you
very
watch
quick.
that Cubs series, it was
No.
one of the most fun 3-game stretches that I've ever watched in my life. Because he would just every at bat he would hit
Big
like
Reds
480 feet.
That's true.
Speaking of the Reds, where are we putting them at? Where are you
Where
guys
we
have
putting
them?
them at?
I'm
Can
still
we all agree that we have a solid top 4 of Yankees, Cards, Giants,
Yeah.
Reds?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
In order, top
yeah.
four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we would say teams like the Pirates, A's, and Reds are all in that mix.
They're
Yeah,
all-
they're all
Yeah.
up there for 5.
But I just don't feel like that the Reds.
I
are
think
there
the
for
Reds
me.
pull this one off. They're number 5. They could be going for World Series number 6 or 7 very soon.
Hopefully.
What do you got?
For you.
I don't know if they're going for that World Series soon, but I do think they're at number 5 right now.
I'll have them at 7,
Jeez.
behind the A's and
7.
Pirates.
Woo! I don't know.
I got them at 6, but I think they're.
Wow.
I think it's really
Yeah,
close.
it is.
with
It
the
is.
Yeah.
It's
A's
tough.
It's
It's a tough
really
decision.
and the
close.
Reds, but I still think they have the greatest team of all time in the Big Red
Yeah,
Machine.
they have a very good resume overall. And that wraps up the second episode of the Fourth Inning Podcast. Thanks for listening, and we hope you tune in next week. And remember to get 4% better every week. See ya!